You have been looking at your hair in the mirror and quietly thinking, why does it look thinner every single year, no matter what I try? Volumizing shampoo, expensive serums, root-lifting sprays. And yet by noon, your hair sits there flat, limp, and absolutely refusing to cooperate. Here is the truth nobody says out loud. The problem is almost never your hair itself. It is the cut. The wrong bob structure on fine hair after 60 can make your hair look half as thick as it actually is. And the right one? It changes everything before you even pick up a brush. I research worst style and beauty mistakes and youth-boosting fixes for mature women, so you get simple, proven transformations that work instantly. Today we are perfecting the 5 best bob haircuts for fine hair after 60, and by part 3, you will want to pause and look up your stylist's number. I mean it. We are covering 5 specific bob cuts that create real, visible fullness on fine hair. The layered texture bob, the graduated volume bob, the soft curtain bang bob, the feathered collarbone bob, and the chic rounded bob. And the very first one? It is the one most stylists never even mention. Let's go. 1. The layered texture bob. Let's talk about the cut that changed more women's mornings than any product ever could. If you have fine hair and you have been walking into salons and walking out with a blunt, one-length bob, I want you to hear this clearly. That cut is working against your bone structure, your density, and your entire face shape. It is one of the most common mistakes I see on women over 60, and it is not your fault. Stylists default to the blunt bob because it is fast, it is easy, and they were not trained to think about how fine hair moves differently after a certain age. You trusted their expertise. You deserve better. Here is the insight that changes everything. Fine hair does not gain volume by adding bulk. It gains volume by removing weight in the right places and creating movement. That single truth is what the layered texture bob is built on. So what exactly is the layered texture bob? It is a bob cut, typically jaw to chin length, where internal layers are carved throughout the mid-shaft and ends, never at the root. Those internal layers lift the hair away from the scalp, creating air pockets that make fine hair appear twice as thick. Your hair does not get heavier. It gets lighter. And lighter hair moves, and moving hair always reads as fuller hair. The reason this works so specifically for women after 60 is because our hair changes texture as it matures. It becomes finer at the shaft, sometimes slightly coarser at the ends, and it stops holding volume at the crown the way it once did. A blunt cut amplifies all of those issues. The layered texture bob corrects them at the structural level. Honestly, this is the cut I wish every stylist recommended first. When a friend of mine had this done after years of flat blunt bobs, she called me the same afternoon asking what sorcery had just happened. If you are still doing a heavy one-length bob, swap it for a layered texture bob at the same length. You keep your shape and gain an entirely different relationship with your volume. Your stylist should be using point cutting or razor texturizing through the midshaft. Ask for that specifically. Maintenance on this cut is simple. A light hold mousse worked through damp hair from midshaft to ends, dried with your head tipped forward. Will keep those layers lifted all day. No heavy creams. No root sprays. Just movement. And that is just the beginning, because the next cut? It targets the one part of your head that every woman over 60 worries about most. And the fix is more elegant than you could imagine. 2. The graduated volume bob. Have you ever stood in front of your mirror and tilted your head slightly and thought, why does the back of my hair look completely collapsed? That flat, heavy, drop-back shape that pulls your entire head downward is not a texture problem. It is not a product problem. It is a structural problem. And the graduated volume bob is the architectural answer to it. Most women with fine hair are not thinking about the back of their hair. They are focused on what they see in the mirror, the front, the sides, the face frame. Meanwhile, the back of their head is dragging down the entire silhouette, making the neck look shorter, the head look heavier, and the overall shape look dull and tired. You needed to hear this. The graduated volume bob, sometimes called a stacked bob, builds height and fullness at the back of the head through a graduated angle of cutting. The hair at the nape is cut shorter and tightly stacked, and each layer above it is cut progressively longer. This creates a rounded, lifted back section that pushes visual volume upward and outward, making your entire head shape read as fuller, rounder, and younger. Here is the key insight. The graduation works with gravity instead of fighting it. Fine hair falls. The graduated cut channels that fall into a shape that lifts rather than collapses. Think of it as your hair being given a structure to lean into rather than simply lying flat. This cut is extraordinary for women with fine hair at the crown, because it redistributes visual density to the back and sides, which takes pressure off the top, the area most of us worry about most. Your crown looks less sparse because the eye is drawn to the shape of the back. If you have been wearing a flat one-length bob with no graduation, swap it for a graduated bob cut at nape level and chin level. The contrast in back volume will genuinely stop you mid-mirror moment. Ask your stylist specifically for a 30 to 45 degree graduation angle at the back. Maintenance is beautifully simple. A small round brush at the back during blowout, rolling the nape hair upward and under, locks in that rounded shape. Do it every time you wash, and your hair will hold that lift for days. There is one more thing about this cut that most women discover by accident. The way it frames your neck. Fine hair that falls flat makes the neck look thick and heavy. The graduated bob creates a clean, elegant neckline that makes your neck look longer, more graceful, and genuinely younger. But as stunning as this shape is from behind, the next bob is the one that frames your face in a way that makes your eyes the first thing everyone sees. And for women over 60, that is everything. 3. The soft curtain bang bob. There is one technique that changes how your entire face reads the moment someone looks at you. And it does not require a single inch of extra length. The soft curtain bang bob is not a trend. It is not something young women invented on social media. It is a structurally sound, face-framing approach that has been used by the most elegant women in the world for decades. And it is criminally underused on fine hair over 60. Here is what makes it so powerful. Fine hair after 60 tends to lose density at the temples and along the hairline. That sparse hairline can make the forehead look wider, the eyes look set back, and the face looks somehow more tired even when your skin looks beautiful. Curtain bangs, soft face-framing fringe pieces that part at the center and sweep outward. Fill in that hairline, redirect the eye straight to your cheekbones, and frame those beautiful eyes of yours in a way that feels effortless rather than overdone. The key insight here is this. Curtain bangs do not add weight to fine hair. They redirect attention. When the eye follows those soft sweeping pieces from center part outward toward the cheekbones, it is drawn past the hairline and directly to your face's most elegant features. You are not hiding anything. You are curating what gets noticed first. Honestly, this is the one I wish someone had told me about 10 years earlier. The difference it makes to the overall read of the face is something you feel before you can explain it. What makes this work specifically on fine hair is the way curtain bangs are cut. Long, feathery, and face skimming rather than blunt. They should never be cut shorter than the outer corner of your eye. Shorter than that, and they lose the sweeping movement that makes them so flattering. They should be texturized at the ends, point cut, never blunt cut, so they have no weight and move freely with the rest of your fine hair. If you have been avoiding bangs because someone told you they would overwhelm fine hair, swap that fear for curtain bangs that are long, swept, and texturized. The heaviness you are picturing belongs to blunt thick fringe, which is an entirely different cut. Curtain bangs on fine hair are featherweight. Maintenance is minimal. A small amount of light hold styling cream warmed between the palms, smoothed through the bangs and swept to each side while damp, then finished with a cool shot of air to set the center parting. That is it. This one is everything. Because the next bob combines the volume architecture of the graduated cut with the length and movement your fine hair has been quietly asking for all along. 4. The Feathered Collarbone Bob. Bold statement to open. The collarbone bob is possibly the most underestimated length in the entire world of mature hair styling. And when it is feathered, truly feathered, in the way that specific technique was designed to be done, it creates a visual density on fine hair that no shortcut can match. Most women with fine hair after 60 are told to go shorter. Shorter means less weight pulling the hair down. Shorter means easier to manage. Shorter means more appropriate. I am going to say something your stylist may not have the confidence to say. Shorter is not always the answer. The reason fine hair looks thin at collarbone length without feathering is because the ends all fall at exactly the same point, creating a blunt horizontal line of thin density. When you see that line, your eye immediately calculates how sparse it looks. The feathered collarbone bob eliminates that problem entirely. Feathering, Layers cut in a directional, outward sweeping pattern through the mid-length and ends, breaks that blunt line into dozens of individual moving pieces. Your eye can no longer count the ends because they never align. The result looks 3 times as full. Here is the key insight. Movement creates the optical illusion of density. Fine hair with beautiful movement reads as full hair. Fine hair that hangs flat reads as thin hair. The feathered collarbone bob is built entirely on this principle. This cut is exceptional for women whose faces are longer or whose jawlines are softer, because the collarbone length creates a soft horizontal line at the chest that visually widens the lower face, in the most flattering way possible. It draws attention across the shoulders and chest rather than straight down, which broadens the frame and makes the face look more balanced. If you are still wearing your hair at collarbone length but blunt, swap it for feathered layers starting at the cheekbone and moving downward. Ask your stylist for feathering or directional layering, not just thinning. Thinning removes density, feathering creates movement. Those are not the same thing. A light sea salt mist worked through damp hair before air drying enhances the natural movement of feathered layers without weighing them down. Let the hair dry 60% naturally before finishing with a diffuser on low heat. This is the one that made a woman in my community describe her hair as having come back to life after 15 years of feeling invisible. That is not exaggeration. That is what the right structure does for fine hair. And the 5th bob? It is the most classic, the most universally flattering, and the one that has been quietly working its magic on fine hair for generations. But with one modern adjustment that most women never learn. 5. The Chic Rounded Bob. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at your hair and thought, that shape is exactly right? Not just the length. Not just the color. The actual shape of your haircut as a complete three-dimensional object. Because the Chic Rounded Bob is built on shape first, and everything else, volume, movement, fullness, follows from that shape automatically. Most bob cuts are cut straight. The sides fall to the same length as the back. The perimeter is a horizontal line from ear to nape. That horizontal line is what creates the dropped, flat silhouette that fine hair after 60 struggles with most. A straight-cut perimeter on fine hair looks like a flat line because it is a flat line. There is no geometry to give the eye something to follow. The Chic Rounded Bob changes the perimeter from a flat horizontal line into a gentle curve. The back of the bob is cut slightly shorter, typically ½ inch to 1 inch, and the cut angles softly longer toward the face at each side. This creates a rounded oval shape when viewed from behind and a softly curved jaw framing line when viewed from the front. That curve is everything. Here is the key insight. The human eye reads curves as volume. A rounded bob silhouette looks full because its shape implies roundness. A flat perimeter bob looks thin because its shape implies flatness. You are not adding hair. You are adding geometry. This cut works on every face shape and every fine hair texture, because it is working at the structural level of the cut itself. The gentle rounding at the perimeter lifts the back section, creates soft movement at the sides, and frames the jawline without drawing attention to any specific feature. It simply makes the whole picture look more balanced, more elegant, more intentional. Honestly, this is the cut that makes people say you look well rested without being able to name exactly why. That quiet lift, that rounded fullness. It reads as health and energy on a mature face in a way that is genuinely difficult to achieve with any other cut. If you are still getting a straight perimeter bob with no rounding at the back, swap it for a rounded perimeter cut with a ½ inch graduation from back to front sides. Your stylist will know what that means. If they look uncertain, find one who specializes in mature textures. Maintain the shape with a boar bristle brush through the sides during blowout, curling gently under toward the neck. That technique sets the rounded perimeter and makes it last several days between washes. This rounded shape also combines beautifully with the curtain bangs from part 3. And together, those two elements create what I quietly think of as the complete fine hair transformation package for women over 60. You just learned 5 specific bob structures that are designed from the ground up to work with fine hair after 60, not against it. The layered texture bob, the graduated volume bob, the soft curtain bang bob, the feathered collarbone bob, and the chic rounded bob. Each one targets a different dimension of fine hair fullness, and every single one of them is available to you at your very next salon visit. You didn't just watch a video. You changed how you look tomorrow. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments. Which of these 5 bobs felt like it was made specifically for your hair? And are you currently wearing any version of it? Or have you been choosing cuts that weren't working for your density? Next time, we are going into the one color mistake on silver and gray hair that is aging women by nearly a decade. And the fix is simpler than anything you have tried before. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.